Hey guys, so today I wanted to talk about something that you don't realize is important until it actually happens to you, and that's the first time you walk into a public bathroom and you realize that if you drop your pants, then the person in the next stall is going to see your firearm, and depending on their sensibilities, girls, most likely it's a woman who's never handled a gun, a woman who's not comfortable with guns, and a woman who just heard about Paris attacks and things like that. So maybe in men's stalls it's different. Maybe people are less likely to freak out on the men's side, but on the women's side, for one thing, a lot of times they will have a child with them. About 50% of the time when I go to sit down in a public restroom, the lady in the stall next to me has a little girl or a little boy with her because she's helping them go to the bathroom. And so that's going to make them a little more emotional too. So today what I'm going to show you is how to use a public restroom without showing your firearm. And also the other concern is, what if the person next to you reaches out and tries to grab your firearm? What if they think they're doing a rescue thing and they grab your firearm? Now I carry one in the chamber. I keep my safety on, but I keep one in the chamber. And so if somebody went and reached for my gun and tried to pull it away from me, it would automatically be pointing towards me, and if they accidentally hit that, flip that switch, they could shoot me if they tried to. And it's not unrealistic to think that someone would grab your firearm in a restaurant, or not in a restaurant, in a bathroom. Although there are other situations. It's one of the reasons why I prefer to carry concealed rather than to open carry, is that you can get people who think they're clowns and think it's funny to go for your gun, or that they want to touch your gun, and if it's open, everybody can see it. I like to carry it concealed. It causes less curiosity. Sometimes my dad will get a funny look on his face if he comes up to hug me and he feels that it's there, but anyway. The other thing that's good to know is that even in a regular bathroom situation, in your own bathroom, it's good to use these techniques. So I do not have my magazine in. My chamber is empty. So I have on leggings underneath so that I can show you this without feeling like you guys are getting flashed by me. Okay, so carrying on my person, if you have a purse holster, this of course is not an issue. But if you appendix carry, or if you have an external holster instead of an inside the waistband holster, it all still applies. Anything that's dependent upon a belt to hold it up is going to most likely be an issue. A shoulder holster would not be an issue. A bra holster, which I think is completely ridiculous personally. I like to have my gun pointing away from me, not into my body cavity or at my boobs. So also an ankle holster would not be a problem. It would be covered when you're going to the bathroom. So you're in your bathroom, and you close the stall, and now the first priority that you have is that your gun does not just fall to the ground. So you are retaining your firearm. Okay, and again, I have pants on under this. So you're retaining it, you're retaining it, you're retaining it. Now, most of the time in your own bathroom, you would just let your pants go down to your shoes, and that would be just fine in your own bathroom. However, you are in a public restroom. So here's my firearm right here. I'm going to take a wide stance, and what will happen with that wide stance is it will hold that firearm against my thigh. And most of the time the stall is only about 8 inches to a foot. That stall opening at the bottom is about 8 inches to a foot high, and so this is about 2 feet high here at my thigh level. And so it's actually on my leg. If I were to look at the section at the partition down there, I wouldn't be able to see somebody else's thigh. And so because it's right here at my thigh, nobody can see my firearm. If you feel like it's a super heavy gun while you're going to the bathroom, and this is what if I didn't have the wide stance, I would do at my belt too. I find that in a situation where I feel like I need to hurry, or I need to or I'm thinking about other things, having my belt done up while I'm going to the bathroom is very helpful. It just adds that extra security. And when I'm finished with my business and I go to stand up, once again, I'm just going to hold on. If you keep your belt done up, you don't have to have as wide a stance. And it can let you be hands-free for a little bit to wipe or whatever you need to do. So the belt helps with that. And then at that point, I will resecure my firearm. I will undo my belt. I will hold on to the holster, not just the firearm, but the holster. Make sure that you're not sticking a finger in the trigger. Okay? And then, you know, kind of use your hand, your arm to kind of hold it up there. As long as you have control of your belt, you will have control of your holster. And so there we go. Make sure everything's adjusted. Recover yourself for your firearm. And I kind of feel like this is hiding pretty well. Don't you guys think this is hiding pretty well? Usually I have to wear a sweater to feel like I've hidden it. But these pants sit a little bit lower. I prefer work pants that sit a little higher because then if I'm bending over out in the farm or something, my pants aren't low enough that I get a breeze up my coat or anything. But these ones are just a little bit lower. They're more of a regular height weight band rather than just a little higher. I like to wear mom jeans like Wranglers and stuff like that because they're more rugged. These ones I think are either Lee's or Levi's. So with this slightly lower one, I feel like it's just not as obvious that I have a firearm on. Even though I have it's not a tight t-shirt, but it's a thin t-shirt. And I feel like it's covering really, really nicely with these lower slung pants. What do you guys think? Because you saw the video. Let's see, I made it yesterday. I don't know when I'm going to put this one up. But it seems to me that it's hiding a little bit better. It's quite comfortable. I guess I could... Okay, I'm not going to chamber it, but I am going to put... There is ammunition in there, but I want to try out the... Because sometimes you'll have like an extended magazine. Sometimes with an extended magazine, it will reach quite a bit further out from your body with the magazine in than with the magazine out. And that does just a little bit. But I don't think it does a huge amount. I feel like I could move and do that. So anyway, to me, it feels like the situation where you're most vulnerable would be in the bathroom. Vulnerable because you yourself are in a vulnerable position, but also because you have strangers on either side that you have to keep from seeing your firearm if they're of a hysterical nature. And as girls, we have a tendency to be emotional about things that we're not comfortable with. And so somebody in the bathroom seeing your firearm could be a problem. But men, when you're doing a bowel movement rather than urinating, you know, you also have that moment of vulnerability. And while I think that men would handle it better seeing a firearm on the other side of the partition, I'm fairly confident that women would freak out. So I don't want to have the cops called on me or the store manager called on me and end up getting tackled by a SWAT team who thinks that I'm there to kill all the mothers and children in Winco. So anyway, there we go. Tell me what you think, and if you have any requests for anything else. I have tried ankle holsters, and I have had like a thigh holster, and I found that with my active lifestyle and how much I move around, the ankle holster made me feel unbalanced, and it did rub a little bit on my ankle. And the thigh holster was the same problem. It got in the way. It was just so in the way. And I don't know if my thighs are different from other women's, but it would cause a bulge at the top and the bottom of the holster part. The elastic would cause a bulge that was unsightly underneath the skirt. And of course you wouldn't do a thigh holster under pants, but under a skirt it was kind of strange. The same thing kind of went for the shoulder holster. It kind of rubbed my arm. I'm extremely active, and with all the motion that I do, I don't really want a holster right next to a part of me that moves past other parts of me frequently. And so for me, carrying on my person what I have found to be the best option has just been a holster that is very sturdy and made out of leather and holds the gun close to my hip. The bad part is that the holsters are quite wide, and so if you have a back that's narrower, if you're a lady and you have a back that's narrower, the holster itself is what will show as much as the gun. And I've had some really good suggestions about smaller guns, and we have friends that have suggested that I carry a smaller gun. My husband wants me to carry a smaller gun, and this one is a subcompact PX4 Storm 9mm subcompact. So it's not a big gun, but it's fat. It's fat. It fits really nicely into my hand. I love to shoot it. I've had it for like 10 years now. I love this gun. And I'm having a hard time switching over to something smaller that is not as much fun to shoot, because I love to shoot. I like to shoot something that is fun to shoot rather than something that's painful to shoot. So I'm having a struggle with that, because I don't want to be flinching every time I shoot, because I know it's going to hurt. And a good point is that in an emergency situation, you're probably not going to get off a lot of shots, and the target will probably be close enough that you can hit them without having to aim too much if it's that kind of scary situation where you feel like you need to defend yourself. So there is that. Anyway, pardon me. The last few days, again, I used to carry in my purse. Now I carry on my person. And my kids are a little older. I feel more comfortable carrying one in the chamber now, because we have had them through gun safety. They've been shooting frequently. Never with a handgun. They have never shot with a handgun. We have only allowed them to shoot 10-22s, the longer, what are they called? A rifle style gun, a 10-22. And Kaya uses a single shot, and Paige uses multiple shot firearm now, because she has learned a little better. With Kaya, we restrict her to the one shot gun, because her attention span is shorter and she can forget what she's doing, and if she swung around with the gun she could get somebody. So the kids do not use the firearms in the house. We keep our ammunition separate from our firearm if we're doing dry firing, and also for cleaning our firearms. And we have a safe that we use for our firearms that are not on our person. And we try to be really, really conscious of gun safety, and we've taken some really fun classes. I took women on site, women on target. I can't remember what it was. That was my first class, and it was strictly for women, and it was super fun. So girls, I would really suggest that you find an NRA supported shooting club in your area and go take a female only class. It's a lot less intimidating than taking it with men, because the instructors are women, or they're men that are sensitive to the maybe more timid nature of women around guns. And it was just super fun. It gave me a lot more confidence to have firearms in our home. And when we got married, we didn't have a good firearm in our home, and I felt like that was really an important thing, to be able to protect our family, because of the time it takes for emergency responders to get there if you have issues. So there is my take on that. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings by taking my pants off. Maybe some people will be offended, but I've seen this done in other videos where they will show this kind of situation by just putting an extra layer of clothes underneath so that they stay modest. If this offended you guys, let me know, and I'll try and figure out some other way to do it. But I couldn't really figure out how to take my pants off and show you how to do it without actually just taking my pants off. So I think that's it, and we'll talk to you later.